Terrific, thank you. This is the Public Works Board monthly meeting. This is August 24th, and we're not having the agenda out, but I will discuss it once we go through a roll call, if you will. I am Gary Bernhagen. Tyler.
Tyler, President Commissioner. George Crowder, member.
Tiffany Martin, ADA Coordinator.
Thank you all. Also in attendance is our project manager, Ryan Luck, and we always appreciate his support. First things, if you will, housekeeping. Dave Marston has, and tribute to the degree you'd like to. So we are actively looking for a replacement. The way this board is made up, George is an appointee of the mayor, and Dave was an appointee of the common council president. And so Margaret Morris is looking for a replacement. I've asked one or two people. I haven't gotten any responses back, but if you know of anyone who's willing to participate, please present their name. So agenda, a week and a half or so ago, the city received the responses to our bid for SID work for 2026. We had put together a number of parcels, if you will, bid items. I think there were 11 core bid items, and there were two. If we have the money, what would the cost be for these other two projects? I'm sorry. Alternates. Yeah. We received back 5 responses. And I'd like Ryan to go over those with us. And myself, we met last week to review this ourselves, see if there were any questions and what might be the next steps. And we have come up with recommendations that we want to present to the board. Hopefully, if everyone is in agreement, we will agree to that. And then I can present a resolution to you that basically reflects what we are proposing. Is that a fair assessment, Tyler?
Yes, spot on.
Okay, cool. So with that, Ryan, could you give us an overview of the responses to the bid?
Yeah, so the city received 5 bids. Contractors ranging from local areas to pretty far away. I think that was a benefit to the way the city posted this year, using some of the online sources, BidNet and the contract reporter. Locally, we have a few local contractors. Peter Easy was one. Trinity Construction, which is, I believe, in Selkirk. Frank Rosberg and Sons. The other 2 contractors I haven't worked with, I think Stonebridge is Ulster County-ish. And then the Raja contractors, I think is a lower, maybe Butler County, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. So yes, we did get responses, all bid document or the big responses. We do have a parent low bidder, Frank Prospect and Sons. So.
And do you have a recommendation that we should go with Frank Prospect?
So reviewing the documents of the bids, there was no errors or omissions in their package, so there's no reason to omit that bid from a errors perspective. They've done work in the city before. An example is the sidewalk work in front of the police department on Union, and some bidded curb ramps last year. So I have no reason to say that they would not be a responsible bidder.
Tyler, as a commissioner, are you comfortable working with them?
Yeah, I think they did a decent job last year, unfortunately, there's some stuff that cracked, but, concrete cracks. But he was you know, he got all the stuff down on time. Anything that came up, he was, you know, the communication was fine and, you know, he fixed anything that we had an issue with. I would recommend it.
So he was responsive across the board.
Yep.
Are they local or?
Technically, I think they're Rhinebeck, Redwood area.
Okay, you're local enough. So, and then talk about the difference in, the pricing.
Do you want to look at it from high to low or just the low two?
However you feel most comfortable with, you know,
The high bid was 800 and, I believe, 80.
49.
Yeah, 840, almost 850.
Yeah.
For the base bid, adding in the alternates puts it up over $1 million. So that one was definitely a high bid, but I think that's a contractor that's from a ways away, things like that. Frank bid, was in the 300s for the base. The alternates kind of lined up across the board between Frank and Louise. They were within tens of thousands of dollars apart. Louise's base bid was slightly higher at the 550,000. But that kind of broke it down. Trinity Construction was in the 600s, as well as Stonebridge for the base. And they were very similar in their add alternates. Again, I said high bidder was definitely up and out of everybody else, but I think it's the travel distance for their firm, their company.
So, the one line item that really bumped Louise up was one, mobilization, demobilization for base contract. What does that mean?
So a lot of times that's what a contractor would include for traveling to and from the site and the amount of effort it goes into starting a project. There's a lot of equipment that moves, there's a lot of people that move around, so that's a big part of the bid. And that's one of the reasons why we asked that to be broken out. I mean, other contractors have high numbers to those, or some high numbers to that as well, but it's that's a lot of the, I don't say overhead profit as well as sometimes putting that line as well.
Unless anyone has any questions or further discussion points, I'd like to put up for vote that we select Frank Vosberg and Sons.
I do have some questions.
Okay.
One, at first glance, and these are just, you know, from my experience only, when a contract is more than 10% of, farther away from the lowest contract, you have to, they usually are required to provide some information, as to why their bid is so low. My second question, that's not really a question, I guess it's more of a statement. You should note that on item number 10, how do we pay for, is MPT called for, do they use MPT for, do they use the city, their resources, or is this just paying for cones and tape and?
Their own equipment and material.
Cause I mean, they're really like, they're pretty low and everybody else, you know, I would throw Raja out because they seem, you know, really high. But the rest of these guys are, you know, signing some good money to it. I guess I'm just curious as to why Vosberg is so, seemingly low. I mean, sometimes do we have any reports on them that you feel like are negative, or you feel like that you're comfortable with working with them?
I mean, I think it's just low. Oh, there's a big difference there because remember last year they had to sit there and wait for the concrete to dry. And I think that kind of elevated the price a little bit. You know, where here, a lot of this working in the same area. So they can man it with one person instead of having 10 different curb brands being washed and dried, you know, at the same time.
Sometimes the difference, and this is like a generalization, sometimes you have, some of the larger companies have specific staff that are just for certain tasks, and they have to pay them the full time while they're there. You know, something, while you're waiting for concrete to dry, you probably don't need the person standing in the road directing traffic or things like that. So there's some of those pieces that come from a bigger contract as well.
I mean, it seems low, and I get it that it's more controlled. The site restoration number is like, they might as well just put 0 down for that. What is the contract called for site restoration?
So that would be like any incidental topsoiling. There's not much in the project itself, but that's mostly, we have the situation on, I believe it was around Sixth Street. There's a curb ramp there last year that, there was against the slope that had topsoil, that, just general stuff. So each one of the items includes pretty much restoration within those areas. This is more like incidental stuff. I think there was also a curb ramp on the corner of Seventh and State that they came back and did a little topsoil in behind there as well. So that's more like for those, things that aren't solely specific to one location, but kind of incidental stuff.
Gotcha. Is there any asphalt work in the contract?
Yes,
There is.
so that's included in each. So if you were looking at
Each
the,
item.
Yep. each item listed here has a specific page in our drawing package that refers to any of the scope of work items included in that, which talks about the blacktop, the amount, concrete, saw cut, any number of curb ramps and things like that. So we broke that out in the actual drawings, not so much in a textual section on the description.
I mean, it's actually a pretty clever bid because they're skinnying down their site restoration and their NPT. But their prices for the sites are not unreasonable, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with their bid.
So, any other comments or questions? So let's put this to a vote. Who's in favor of choosing Frank Rosberg and Sons as our contractor for 2026?
I'll make a motion that we choose them.
Okay,
Second.
second, great. All in favor? Done. Now, that number, 349, bumps up against what we have available. And I think for a lot of reasons, we should not say, oh, the funds will be coming in for what we're committing to. So with that said, and again, the three of us, Ryan, Tyler, and myself, sat last week, and we came up with a recommendation that 2 items be dropped at this point in time. And that is 6th Street between Rope Alley to State Street on the west side. And there's some technical issues with that need to be ironed out before we know how to proceed. And the second is 3rd Street between Union to Partition on the west side. The 2 of those together is 75,100. Taking that off of the 349,085 that Frank Rosberg is quoting us, brings us to 273,985. That allows us $50,000, which last year we budgeted to be starting to pay back the city. And that's, it's, I think, a good number from our standpoint. We don't want to pay too much because we want working capital. So, and so any discussions on that?
A lot of sense.
No, I mean, I feel, making that $50,000 installment payment back is a good, step forward for us going back to the city. And also, just keeping the project, getting some work done, keeping the project moving, and also, making that installment back to them keeps everybody happy, right? In our word.
What was the original amount that was funded?
500,000.
500K.
So we deliberately recommended going in, if you will, low, so that again, having as much capital to work with. So can I get a vote on that? agreeing that we're going to drop these two items at this point in time. And they basically go into the alternative category.
I'll make a motion, we drop, line item number 2, line item number 9. And also pay back the city 50,000.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Fabulous. With that said, I and my assistant whipped together this resolution. That I think captures everything. In terms of what we've just proceeded with. And I'd like to review it with you. I'd like approval on your part. Make any changes if we need to. And I'm hoping to present it to the common council tomorrow. That's not a guarantee, but nevertheless, I'm hoping to present it to the council tomorrow. Get it approved so they can, we can then pass it along to the mayor for signature and we can get the work started.
Here, just a quick note, I think the spelling of Fosberg is incorrect.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Just as a,
No, this is, why we're, yeah. And of course, we can space this out and everything and just
And,
work this way to fit it.
and the addition of the resolution number with the blank next to it that gets filled in and the date, and then at the bottom, the 3 signatures for the first, the second, and then the council approval. Just from a formatting standpoint.
Yeah,
Can I also request that we list item 2 and item 9, and item number 9 and put deleted on the side. So if, funds become available for whatever reason, the full extent of the contract was known. Because people will go like, hey, what happened to item number 2? And we'll have to explain it again and again.
we had some, we discussed this with the city's attorney.
I guess to George's question, if we read the whereas above that chart, it says, it spells out what that was, if that makes clear. I don't know if you
Just above the chart, George, and we have to pay whereas.
Oh, okay, so you're saying, I just didn't read through.
No, I read that to myself, and I saw that, and that stopped me from asking the question.
So would you like me to,
No, that's.
would you like me to read through this? And we can comment on it, or you could just read it in silence and we're good with that? I'm good with that.
No, I don't think you need to.
Okay.
So we're looking at signature lines, you said TIF, date, resolution number, Fosberg's name spelling. I didn't miss anything, did I?
There
No, you don't like it.
I'm near the end.
Okay, sorry.
Sounds great. Thank you for putting this together.
I read it earlier, so.
I did too. I'm giving it a second read. I mean, I guess for purposes of public information, I will just state for the.
I'll provide a
You will, okay,
PDF.
good, all right, great, then put that on the website.
Very good.
So that, I believe, is, a good amount of work. Is there anything else that we need to be discussing?
I was just gonna say, I have to send you our next contract amendment.
I thought I saw it, did I? Or,
No, I don't believe I had sent on email. It's ready. I just had to change the date. I had
Okay.
25 and.
Terrific. Yes.
So you'll see that for the next step.
okay. Sounds good.
Put that on the next meeting, right?
I'm sorry?
We'll put that on the next meeting.
Yeah. Now, are we going back, what are we doing next meeting in terms of scheduling? First Monday of the month?
I think it's already on the calendar, so
This is last Monday.
it's, yeah, I think.
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's see there.
Number 28th.
September 28th at 5:30.
Fantastic. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Just a quick question, if I may.
Oh, please.
I didn't hear Tiffany's question about the answer was 500,000. What was that question?
What was the initial loan?
Okay.
That the city-
500,000. So you still, after this was still 450.
That's correct.
Okay, and that initial money was for the work done already last year or the year before,
That's the seed money the city provided to the SID.
but they did a bunch of the corners, the EVA stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, I'm good.
Quick question, I have just and it's really more of a housekeeping question. What's once you submit it to the council, what does the attorney review and then we make an award? Or what's the time frame for an award to the contract?
Well, actually, for it to be approved, the council's attorney needs to review it. I would suspect that before the mayor signs it, that it would be reviewed as well. It could get bounced. But as soon as the council tomorrow night approves it,
Right.
it's moved on. The council doesn't have anything else to do with it.
So it goes to the attorney, and then when does the city, let's just say for sake of argument, the city or the council approves it, how long does it take for an award letter to be issued to the contractor?
Well, I'm not sure what we did in the past, but I believe it was, once the mayor was ready, we then turned to the project manager, who then engaged our subcontractor.
So in typical fashion, we'll just speak in generals here. Once the approval to award a contract is made by the municipality, in general, we would send a notice of award, pretty much a stock letter with the contract that the contractor would then have to sign, notarize, return with their insurances, and, that process generally takes a week or two. By the time they get it notarized, most times they want the notarized version to be then signed by the municipality, so it's usually mailed or dropped off. So there's a little bit of logistics that go into that, but likely a few weeks at a time, not months of time, but weeks at a time.
I'm just thinking of the season and are we able to get a shovel in the ground?
That was my next question, and we had actually talked about this separately too, about where this might kick off. So we're thinking October to be safe, but you never know because you get a bunch of storms or something happens and there's a huge cleanup and it gets bumped to November. So then you can't pour concrete because it drops below a certain temperature at night. Then we could be looking at spring, but optimistically, it's starting in October. And, as a safety backup in the spring, as soon as things are warm enough, depending on. It's,
That's why I'm rushing on this.
No.
Hopefully,
Push out.
we won't have to wait.
Yeah, we're hopeful to get, to put shovels in the ground before even October.
Yeah.
That would be nice to.
Mid-September would be ideal for us, but you never know, something gets bounced back. And then, the good thing is a lot of this work is in the same area, where in the past it was all around the city. He can dig up and pour a chunk at a time. So we're hopeful to get, all these items done this year.
yeah,
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, that's right.
Mother Nature has not been kind to us this year.
I know.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any questions from
I don't believe
our
anybody.
guests? Is there anyone there?
I don't think anybody's.
Okay, good. Wait, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
First. motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.